Hey, good afternoon, good evening. This is Robert Newman, and today I'm going to talk to you about real estate postcards, which is a little bit strange because I am a pretty well-known online marketer, and specifically I'm known mostly for inbound marketing and lead generation, real estate website development, things like that. And those are definitely the areas I focus on in terms of what I educate. Certainly not the only strategies that I've employed as a marketing like a marketing leadership resource, or in any of my roles, which have been director level and higher. So I've managed budgets and used print media and cable and mail, and certainly have opinions about these things. But I do have to admit that postcards are one of my more favorite traditional real estate strategies when utilized correctly. I'm going to share some thoughts with you about some of the prevalent information that's out there on real estate postcards. Before I do so, if you could do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, that way you'll get updated. 2020 is going to be a big year for me in terms of content. If you're watching this video and it happens to be some other year, believe me when I tell you I've already done more content in 2020 than I did in all of 2019, and it's we're still in the first 3 weeks. So going to do a lot of new stuff this year, and you're probably going to want to be updated on some of it. So, real estate postcards. We're on a website called The Close. The guy who writes this is brilliant. Actually, this is a guy named Chris Linsell. I've never read any of his stuff, but it goes through a whole bunch of different types of postcards, and some of them I like, and some of them I don't. So I'm going to just do a little bit of quarterbacking on the article that's up and explain what my thoughts are. What I overall want to say is that there is a concept that an old sales trainer by the name of Brian Tracy used to promote, okay? And that concept was 5 touches, all right? 5 touches to take a prospect, from being a prospect into a customer. These days, that's more like 5 touches to get a customer willing to talk to you. Then you've got a separate sales process. But the general average holds true, interestingly enough. We have to get our name in front of somebody quite a few different times before they're willing to have a conversation. It's gotten harder just to have the conversation. And the way the entire market has gone, the reason I'm an inbound marketer is that really that's the way the entire sales industry is going or has gone, where people are, you kind of got to catch them in their interest cycle, and they will reach out to you. Getting them, calling them, knocking on their door, it's getting harder and harder. Not that it's not possible, and not that there aren't some extremely amazing professionals out there that still make their living on the phone. You can do it. I could do it if I set my mind to it. It's just not as easy as it once was. And for some people who don't have the skill set already, it's very hard. So what I want to talk about is real estate postcards in the terms of it's a great way to get a couple of those touches into those clients as you're building up that momentum and getting in front of them. There's a few other touches I'm going to mention too that should go correspond with this. So circle prospecting is something I love. Circle prospecting is where you get a listing or you sell a listing, and then you go and you drop a postcard in that surrounding neighborhood, inferring the piece of business that you just did and saying, hey, if you've got anything I can help you with, I just did such and such a business. I love that. I love it. Circle prospecting is amazing, except I would design a postcard that would be specific to circle prospecting, and that's not here. It's listed as an aside, and I completely disagree with that. I don't think that postcards sent out to a geographic farm is as productive as you could be spending dollars on marketing. So that's one thing to say about real estate postcards, is that without a shadow of a doubt, if you start talking about, oh, Robert, should I drop a whole bunch of postcards into a geographic farm? My question would be for you is, hey, do you have a real estate website that has a lot of SEO traction happening? Because way before you do geographic farming with mail or postcards, with any of these strategies, you should be doing SEO, because the two strategies take almost as long to come to fruition. They cost almost as much, depending on, that's a very big generalization, but postcards can be more expensive than SEO. And they have nowhere near the redundancy in terms of return. Yes, you'll get calls for a couple of years, but you stop dropping those postcards, results go away in about 2 years. And that is not the case with SEO. SEO can stay in place for 5, 10 years after you do the work originally. Not all of it, of course. Google makes a lot of changes, but if you do it the right way, you'll discover that a lot of the work on your site is fairly bulletproof. Like a good example is, I only did 2 updates on my site last year, and I definitely lost traction about 30 or 40% in terms of the search volume to my site. But here's the thing. I did 2 posts last year. I spent maybe 7 hours in marketing, and I still maintained 50% of my results. And this year, when I'm ramping up, I'm already getting those back because I'm posting content, and Google goes back, reanalyzes the site, and starts to move some of my other stuff up the rankings. So it comes back fairly easily. So having said that, just sold postcards. Once again, I like them for circle prospecting, expired listing postcards, where you're mailing out to FSBOs. I prefer cold calling. It's not to say that postcards couldn't be part of a 5-touch strategy, because they could, but the way I would utilize these is to have a FSBO list in hand. I'd have my neighborhoods picked out on the FSBO list, and then I would mail out these cards, and then I'd call and maybe even mail again. I'd have a few touches trying to get these people to pick up the phone and make sure that they know I'm their one-stop shop. FSBO lists and postcards is a good, like, profitable, hand-in-hand effort, and I definitely think postcards have a place in that kind of strategy. New agent postcards, if you're sending these out to your circle of influence, like if anybody here or watching this video has studied Buffini or any of the people that talk about a lot about the circle of influence, so your friends, your family, the people like that, I personally think this is impersonal. And even on this postcard, you have a little kid with a phone. So I think the implication is they're supposed to call you. I would just think it was weird, personally. Like if somebody in my family or my friends sent me a postcard saying I'm an agent now. Not to say that you shouldn't do it. I don't know who your friends are. I'm just saying, I don't know that I particularly agree with this one. Maybe let's put it on the maybe, maybe not list. Offering a service, seller CMA postcards, no. List of homes, potential buyer, no. Absolutely not. Fence setter, seller's postcard. And by the way, when I'm saying no, absolutely not, my opinion is you should be doing something in the digital space as opposed to this particular kind of postcard strategy. If you're already working in the digital space and you already have your geographic farm picked out, that's when, like, people always ask me these questions. It's like they think that I'm against other kinds of marketing. I am not. There's just a level of productivity and like a tier to how you would do those things. This is a second or third tier marketing effort. If you already are dominating in an area and we've got you like a website and you're doing well, or there's momentum going, you're doing video, you're doing all the things that you should be doing on the site, and now the question is, how do I do more? What more impact? Well, absolutely, postcards. Let's get your name in front of your geographic farm. And now they're seeing you online. Now they're seeing you offline. They're seeing you everywhere. And that's brilliant. You'll have huge name brand recognition within your niche or your geographic farm. And I couldn't agree with that strategy more, as long as the other steps are happening first. Fence sitting seller postcard. No, sorry. Personal sphere postcards. Again, this is kind of the same thing as the friends and family. They're calling it by another name, just to increase the list here on this thing, and I have the same opinion about it. Referral solicitation postcards. Absolutely not. Okay? So referrals should be asked for in person. Okay? You should call somebody up. Asking for referrals is too important to leave in the hands of a postcard anymore. Referrals are the lifeblood of your business, okay? If you forgot, or a client had, like if you asked and a client said, oh, I'll get you a list, that's when you use a postcard, is to remind them that they said that they gave you referrals. But for me personally, I'm going to call. I'm going to be in that conversation with somebody. And if somebody says they have an idea of some referrals, it's like, listen, I get busy, you get busy. Is there any way you can just open up your phone and give me a couple of names? It would mean the world to me. Like literally. And if they can't, then obviously you don't pressure them. Obviously you back off. And that's when you'd send something like a postcard that's real gentle, but reminds them. But doing this as a primary strategy, I really wish they had explained that more, because I don't agree with it at all. And I think that a lot of people watching this video are going to go, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Home purchase anniversary postcards, beautiful, lovely. Same thing with birthday postcards. Now, here's probably why I decided to do a post on postcards in the first place. Special occasion postcards, special event postcards. If you get to know your clients good enough to know their special moments, there is nothing that says, I don't know that I would go with a postcard, I might just go with a regular card, but sending cards on special moments for people is still wildly effective. Thank you cards, thank you postcards, something to say thank you. Like those, this is why I wanted to do this video. Saying thank you is becoming a forgotten mechanism, and it is a subtle piece of marketing as well. Postcards are a great way to continue to deliver gratitude. And you don't have to say anything else, by the way, if you're selling your next home. I think that like a postcard sent at the end of the first year, I hope you're enjoying your home. It was wonderful working with you. And then at the end of 3 years, I hope you're still enjoying your home at the end of 5 years. So you basically, and you guys in the real estate industry should know this better than me, but the buying cycle for homes is somewhere between 5 and 7 years. So you obviously want to keep in front of your clients. And I can think of no better way of doing that than simply consistently saying thank you. And if they have anything special going on in their lives that you happen to know about, congratulate them. Send them a letter and do it honestly. Please don't use any sneaky or back-end sales tactics on this. Your name and a signature with your business logo is more than enough to let them know. Obviously, they understand that you are a professional trying to do professional work, and that you'd appreciate like anything that they send your way, because that's why you're sending on a professional stationery. But sending out a personal note and letting people know that you're an authentic human that cares about how they're doing and really appreciates them as customers, I don't think that that's ever going to grow old in terms of a strategy to keep your name close to the top of their head and in their hearts. I'm a big believer in what is called like authentic marketing, which is just to say, let's separate the professional barriers, be authentic. Hopefully you like people. Hopefully you want to do a good job for them. Hopefully all you really want to do is, on top of that, you'd like them to continue to remember you because you did good work. You treated them well. If you can just show that, go a little extra mile, and postcards are a brilliant way to show that appreciation. And because of that, when people ask me about postcards, I kind of say, I love the idea of postcards. They really have a place inside of any marketing strategy. It's just, how do you utilize them? How do you leverage postcards as a real estate agent in a productive way in what is overwhelmingly becoming a digital world? So my idea is thank yous, gratitudes, anniversaries, circle of influence when you're listing homes. I would limit it. It's very unlikely that they're going to keep these postcards. So another thing that you could always do is you could not just go with postcards, but you could do like a product of some kind, a mouse pad, t-shirt, a cap, something. Sending something to somebody with a logo is a real tricky proposition, though. I hate it when vendors do that. The only thing I use is mouse pads personally, because I go through them like crazy. I've seen some pretty clever ideas, though. Phone, the little things in the back of phones like this. I've seen some people send out some branded stuff. So maybe a super creative idea, if you find a good one, that might be something. But postcards for sure, in a magnetic postcard, that might be my one thing. Something really sweet, something really nice. Like if you can remember to collect a digital asset, like a picture. An example would be if you're a builder and you're building new homes, like take a couple pictures of every lot as the home is being built up. And that's the kind of thing you could send 4 squares and a magnet of, and then have that sent to somebody at the year, like the 1 year mark, and say, remember when? Like, if you get clever about it, postcards can be insanely powerful. So I hope you got something from this video. I'm going to wrap it up. It's 15 minutes on the dot, and I think that's more than enough time to talk about real estate postcards. If you can do me a favor, if you got anything in here that you felt was valuable, anything at all, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that I can give you other tips that might help your real estate business. If you have any comments for me, I'd love to hear them. And last but not least, 2020 is going to be my last year that I'm taking direct consultations. I'm very fortunate. The business that I've established has grown a lot. So if you want to have a consultation with me directly, I still will occasionally take those calls when I have time. All you got to do is message me. There will be an email and a phone number down here. And if there's some availability, I will give you an hour of my time for free. Thanks for tuning in.